What's good, everybody? It's your girl Jakayla A, and I'm back with another video. So I attempted my first time ever doing aquarium nails on press-ons. This definitely tried my patience, okay? But I'm here to walk you through what I did and what I would not do again and how I could have did it better. So the first thing is that there's two methods that you see online. One where you basically put the aquarium detailing underneath the press-on nail, and one where you will put a smaller press-on nail on top of the actual size press-on nail, and you would create like a window, and that's where you will fill in the space with the liquid and the charms and get that beautiful water effect. I wanted to go underneath because I find that the other one is easier, but it is so bulky. Like, I wasn't seeing it really clean, so I was like, okay, I gotta go underneath. I started making, using acrylic, I started making these really thin sheets of acrylic to be the supportive back. You'll see later what I'm talking about. And then I started making these moon shaped, they didn't have to be perfect because I was filing them, hand filing them, but I was trying to make them somewhat moon shaped gel bottoms. Okay, it's really hard to explain, but where the apex is in the nail, I would use this to support the bottom, and then use the acrylic sheets that I was making to support the back. And that was just like my mental on something that I've never done before. I had to end up making them way wider, so that was just some ones that I made that were wider, because the first ones I showed were absolutely not wide enough. You really want to have that real estate to be able to do what you need to do. I put a black dot there. You can see that black dot. I put them on all of the nails so I could make sure that my French was the same length. So basically that black dot is the same length on every single nail, and that's where I started to put the moon shaped gel piece. So basically I'm using Macart rhinestone glue in that space, and I am lining up that little half moon piece. After I measured it already and make sure that it fit, I'm lining it up and trying to create a seal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you understand what I'm saying. But that's basically so that the liquid water or baby oil, whatever you use, cuticle or whatever, is not seeping out. You want to really make sure that you block all corners, that bottom and both them sides. That is very important. I used my small, see, it was just running away from me, but it's okay. It's the trial and error of doing something you never did before. So I used my small little handheld LED to cure, and then after I felt like it was just an okay enough spot that it wasn't moving too much, then I put it in the light to further cure. But you definitely want to make sure that you block off that bottom really good. If I could go back, I would reinforce it, but I didn't even have that much Macart rhinestone glue. I would reinforce it with that, like I would have did this step, cured it, and then went back in, reinforced it again, and then really cured it. I feel like I could have used a little bit more, but that's me being nitpicky because these actually did not leak. My client has already wore these, and she said they held up great because I checked back in with her. Being that this is something that I never did, I wanted to make sure that it had lasting power before I offer this service to anyone. So after just putting a little bit more on the back and the front, then I put it in the light for a full 60-second cure. And as you can see, it wasn't moving. It was real good. So I said, okay, let me cut it and try to make it as flush as I can, because you do not want that part sticking out. If it is, it's definitely not the end of the world. This is going to make for a bulky nail. Hell, even if you see people do aquarium nails on acrylic full set, it makes for a little bit of a bulkier nail because of what you're doing. You're putting water inside of a nail. So I was all about it. Okay, you see me giving myself a thumbs up. I was like, oh bitch, you're eating, you're killing it right now. If I could go back, I would make these sheets much thicker. I'd have made these sheets much thicker, and I would have made them much more uniform. I just was going for broke and was trying to make sure that all of these little thin pieces of acrylic that I'm going to use for the back to create Y'all can see exactly what I'm doing now. I know y'all following me now. I'm trying to create a seal so that all I got to do is put everything in the top. I would have made them much thicker. They did hold up pretty well, but you know, hindsight is 2020. To seal the sides, I also used the Macart, what is it called? Rhinestone glue. I used the Macart rhinestone glue. It is not air dried. It is a gel. It's a glue, but it's a gel. So you have to put it under the light. I feel like this would have ate if I would have been more patient enough to use acrylic. But like I said, the gel is also a good alternative, and it did work for me. But I'm such a perfectionist, y'all. It's sick. So after I got all 10 of them done, no cap. Yes, it was the first time I did them, so I got to be kind to myself. No cap. It took 3 hours just to do that. Just to do that. Just to do that. So you got to remember, when you're going out on a limb and you're doing these extravagant sets, to charge your worth. Honestly, I think for this set, you'll see at the end that it's like minimal design. But because this set has minimal design, because you don't want to cover up all the work you do making the aquarium nail itself, I feel like I would charge like $130 for this set. This set took like 4 or 5 hours, and that's kind of ridiculous for a set that does not have any hand-drawn art, really. Like, it had minimal hand-drawn art. But anyway, I chose to put pieces in here that were colorful just because my client wasn't specific. She just wanted some aquarium nails. She did not really have a vision. She did not care what they looked like. And she was my loyal, and she knew that I never did this before. So she knew that I was just going to take a risk on something and try to learn something. So I used these glitters that I got. The small jar came from a cart years ago. The big jar came off of AliExpress, and the pieces are random pieces that I've collected over 4 years of doing nails. I chose to use baby oil, and this is just literally the dropper that I use to put cuticle oil on my clients. You definitely want to get a syringe, or you want to get one of those plastic syringes that come with monomer. I threw mine away thinking that I didn't need it, and it would have worked perfect in this moment. So have something very skinny so that you are not getting oil or water all over the nail. I feel like water would have really made it eat a little bit better, and it really would have gave like liquid aquarium nail, because the viscosity of, oh, that's a word, baby, the viscosity of oil is just not giving for something that has such a small space. The real estate inside of there, like the space inside the nail, is not a lot. So I feel like if I did this again, I would use water, and I would have a syringe, or, you know, like I said, the plastic syringe that come with monomer. Even that would have worked perfectly. So I made sure to keep an air bubble in there and not to put too many pieces, because you actually want to see the air bubble move around, and you don't want to cover it up that with the design either. You want to keep this minimal. The whole point of the set is, you know, this aquarium feature on the set. So I just kept a little bit in there for the Fimo pieces and the what's it called, sequins and glitter, just a little, and then seal the top with acrylic. Seal the top with acrylic and make sure it's a fairly dry bead, because you also don't want your acrylic to leak down into it and start becoming a part of the design and taking on the oil. So just work a little drier. It wasn't even that dry. It was just a little drier than regular, so that it's not moving around. And yeah, you just want to seal that up. I went back in with another bead, as you saw, just to reinforce it. And you can always just, you know, flip it over and try it out. If it's a hole in it, baby, it's coming out. So I was shaking it, trying to see if it, you know, had a little leak or a little hole. Don't be like me. Just go ahead and sit it down and let it dry first. That's first of all. But, you know, I was just a little excited. I just wanted to see it do its thing. And it was doing its thing. But you see how it's moving with like a little hesitation? I feel like if it was water, it'd be flowing, okay? That air bubble would be moving like water if it was actual water. So the oil does work. And I saw many people use oil, but water would eat a little bit more. This is the very simple French outline. We used a nude color at the nail bed, and the client was very satisfied. Overall, I think it's giving Ariel. I think it's giving Hallie, okay? It's giving Little Mermaid. I loved it. Hope y'all enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.